Okay, glass cutting 101. This is an explanation of what I mean about cutting glass, different shapes and things. So we're going to go over a little bit of it. So say I have a piece that needs to be cut like that, and you have your glass. So what you would do is you would cut the glass in this direction to maybe about here and then go off. Because don't forget, it wants to cut straight, so you want to make your cuts in segments. So then I would take another cut and maybe go off like that. And then I take another cut and maybe go off like that. And then for this one, it's not such a deep cut. You probably could get away with doing this cut here. So instead of trying to make your cut all in one piece, which is not going to happen, it's going to break somewhere in here. So then the other thing that you want to avoid, and I told you in the other video, don't make any interior sharp corners with your designs, because it will just make it hard to cut a piece of glass. So say I wanted to do something like that. That cut is going to be difficult to make because you're not going to be able to get in here and cut it out. So if I was to take a piece of glass that say had an inner cut like that, which is a little easier to do and you can get it done, what I would do is I would take my cutter and I would cut across, and then of course in stages going around. Well, actually I would follow it a little better. And then of course that. So with this, I would score my glass around the U, and then I would start making relief cuts. And I'd pull the glass out that way. I also have gone and I take and score the glass this way. And that way I can nibble out little chunks of this glass. But the sharper your corner on the interior, the harder it is that you're going to be able to cut it. So that's what I mean by thinking in terms of glass. Now when you're laying out a pattern piece on glass, say this is your sheet of glass, and you have a pattern piece, say it's, you know, something odd, okay, and you lay a piece next to it like this, whatever, and you put a piece here, you know, one of your pattern pieces here. Well, you can't cut this because you're going to go through your pattern piece. The glass is going to want to cut through your pattern piece. So you want to think before you lay things out, am I going to be able to cut this pattern piece out? Well, in this case, I probably could. I could probably go this way. But if I had a piece laid out here, you wouldn't be able to cut that. So you have to just think ahead when you're planning your pattern, when you're laying your pattern pieces on glass. So I hope that explains it to you. If you have any questions about cutting glass and, you know, how to lay the patterns out, please put them in the comments and I'll get back to you on the questions and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Yeah, so we'll just proceed with the video on cutting glass, and I have a couple of strips I have to make, and we'll do that too. Okay? So I have some rolled cathedral glass. And I'd say that's the right side. You can tell because the glass was poured here. You can see the marks from the pouring. So this is the back of the glass, and this is the front of the glass, and this is actually the smoother side. So I'm going to cut on this side, and I'm going to do the border strips of the glass. And I might just be able to get it. Get them done. Ooh, it's actually almost perfect, but I don't know. Well, okay. So using my because this is a dark glass, I'm going to use my silver Sharpie to mark my pattern pieces, but I'm going to use my ruler to aid in cutting a nice straight line. So I'm going to use the manufacturer's edge. I'm leaving a space here because I plan on using some of my scrap glass for other projects, and it'll break off nice and clean here. Actually, no, I think I'll just cut it and go from there. And this won't quite make it. Okay, so I have the one piece laid out, and see if I can get this to video it better. Okay, so I have a metal ruler, and it's got a rubber side on the other side, so that will keep it from moving. So I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to use my cutter. And you can also buy tools that aid in making strips and circles. But for this, I'm going to show you how to cut strips in your glass easily. So you want to have a flat surface, which I'm working towards here. See if I can. So as you can see, we have our glass pieces all cut out. They don't fit up really well because they need to be grinded and trimmed back to their marked line. Well, you want to trim off all of your marked lines. So for instance, let's see, on this this petal here, we want to trim off all of the black so that the petal will fit in its proper place on the pattern. So that's where we're at, and we're going to start grinding next.